In today's lesson, we're going to look at some calculations involving density. The main thing that you need to remember is that density is equal to mass divided by volume, although there are two rearrangements of this which are useful to know. That is that mass is equal to density times volume, and volume is equal to mass divided by density. Now, instead of trying to remember all three of those, we can use the DMV triangle in the top right to help us think about what calculation we need to do. This works in a very similar way to the speed, distance, time triangle that you're probably already used to. So if, for example, I wanted to work out density, I cover that up within the triangle, and what I've got is m above v. That means mass divided by volume. If I wanted to work out mass, I cover up the m, and I've got d and v which are on the same level. That means density times by volume. And lastly, if I wanted volume, I cover that up, and you'll notice that m is above d. That means mass divided by density. Another thing that's really important to recognise is the units that you get for each of your answers. If, for example, we're looking at volume, we know that that could be measured in millimetres cubed, centimetres cubed, metres cubed, and so on. Mass is measured in grams and kilograms, and therefore density is measured in grams per centimetre cubed or kilograms per metre cubed, etc. The easiest way to remember the units for density is to think about the formula itself. We know that density is equal to mass divided by volume, and therefore when you think about your units, it's going to be the units of mass per the units of volume. So let's have a look at some examples of the sort of things that you could be asked. It's important to note that the numbers in my calculations are really easy for the simplicity of demonstration. However, for your calculations, you can use a calculator to help you. So, our first example says an object has a mass of 45 grams and a volume of 5 centimetres cubed. What is the density of the object? Now, because I'm working out density, I'm going to start by covering that up in my triangle. This therefore means to work out my answer, I need to do mass divided by volume. So that is 45, which is the mass, divided by 5, which is the volume. That gives me an answer of 9. Now, thinking about my units, because it was mass divided by volume, that means it's going to be grams per centimetre cubed. That's because my units of mass are in grams, and my units of volume are centimetres cubed. Please don't forget to include your units in your answers. In the second example, it says an object has a density of 5 kilograms per metres cubed and a volume of 4 metres cubed. What is the mass of the object? This time, because we're working out mass, we're going to cover that up, and we get d and v on the same level, so that means density times by volume. So I need to work out 5, which is my density, times by 4, which is my volume. That gives me an answer of 20. Again, I need to think about the units of my answer. Now, because I'm dealing with a mass, I can look at the units of my density and look at the mass part, which is in kilograms, so I know that my answer is 20 kilograms. In this third example, it says an object has a density of 2 grams per centimetres cubed and a mass of 14 grams. What is the volume of the object? As with before, I want to start off by covering up V. That's because it's the volume that we're trying to work out. That gives us mass divided by density. So I need to take the mass, which is 14, and divide it by the density, which is 2. That gives me an answer of 7. Again, I need to think about the units of my answer. Now, looking at my density, I can see that the volume is given in centimetres cubed, therefore my answer is 7 centimetres cubed. Now, they could make these questions harder by making you work out the volume of the object yourself. In this example, it says a cube of ice has side lengths of 2 centimetres and a mass of 16 grams. What is the density of the ice? So the first thing I want to do is use the fact that the side length is 2 to work out the volume. So we know it's going to be 2 by 2 by 2. Therefore the volume is going to be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8 centimetres cubed. As with before, because I'm trying to work out the density of the ice, I can cover that up in my triangle, and that gives me mass divided by volume. So my mass is 16 and the volume that I just worked out is 8, so that gives me an answer of 2 for the density. Now our mass was given in grams and our volume is in centimetres cubed, therefore I can say my answer is 2 grams per centimetre cubed. In this last example, it says a gold bar is 15 centimetres long, 10 centimetres wide and 5 centimetres high. It has a density of 20 grams per centimetre cubed. How much does it weigh in kilograms? It wants us to assume that the gold bar is a cuboid. As with before, we can start off by working out the volume of the gold bar. So the volume is going to be 15 times by 10 times by 5. That gives us a volume of 750 centimetres cubed. Because we want to know how much the object weighs, we can cover up m, which is the mass, and that tells us we want to do density times by the volume. That is 20 for our density times by 750 for our volume, which gives us an answer of 15,000. Now looking at our density, it's in grams per centimetres cubed, so I know that this answer is in grams, 15,000 grams. Although the question asks us how much does it weigh in kilograms, so I need to do one conversion before I finish off. 15,000 grams is the same as 15 kilograms. That's because there's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, so 15 kilograms is my final answer. So your task for today is to complete the following worksheet that has been attached on Show My Homework for you. You should use the density mass triangle to help you decide whether to times or divide, and don't forget about the units of your answer. Once you've finished, you can check your answers against those which are attached to Show My Homework in the Resources to Help You section. When you're happy that you've understood it all, take a photo of your work and submit it to Show My Homework so I can see how you've got on. If you are struggling to complete some of the work from today's lesson, then please do not hesitate to get in touch via comment on Show My Homework. I'll try to make myself as available as possible and get a reply to you as quickly as I can. If the issue requires a little bit more input from myself, I might ask to arrange a time to meet on Teams where I can give you some personalised help with that specific problem.